The laughter from the next room still echoed when I checked my account. Balance? Zero. Not a delay, not an error. Drained. Every investment, every transfer, gone. My pulse didn't rise. Shock doesn't always scream. It freezes. I turned slowly, watching them through the half-open door. My brother-in-law leaned back on the sofa, swirling whiskey like it was his birthright. He caught my stare and smirked. "We needed it more than you," he said, half joking, fully not. My fingers tightened around the handle of my bag. The air thickened. "Then you won't mind what's coming next," I said softly. They laughed. And then the bang, a sound that split the air like fate cracking open. The door flew open, and the world began to unravel. It started months before that night. The subtle changes, the pauses in conversation that stretched too long, the way my wife's eyes darted away whenever my sister's husband entered the room. I told myself stories to fill the silence: work stress, family politics, coincidences. But truth has a scent. It lingers even when you refuse to breathe it in. One night, after everyone had gone to bed, I found her phone under the couch cushion, unlocked. A message still glowing on the screen. "He won't suspect anything. He trusts us both." I stared at the words until the battery died. My hands didn't shake. My mind did. That's when I learned what betrayal really is. Not a knife to the back, but a quiet erosion from those who smile closest to your face. The next day, I smiled. I poured coffee. I kissed her forehead. And while she scrolled through her phone, I mirrored every file, every message, every photo. A ghost inside her machine. She never noticed. My brother-in-law started visiting more often, to help with the family business, to share drinks with my father, to whisper when he thought I wasn't listening. I listened. I always listened. They thought I was naive. They didn't know what stillness meant to someone like me. Stillness is not weakness, it's calculation. I went through accounts, statements, encrypted transfers, small withdrawals leading to a single offshore line. Every rupee redirected to a trust fund in her name, a name she had signed alongside his. The betrayal was intimate, efficient, not just money, it was architecture. I hired a man, quiet, discreet. He found the rest. Photos, hotel records, video stills of her hand brushing against his in dim corridors. The way they looked at each other, not with lust, but with partnership. And then, the conversation that sealed their fate. "He'll never know. Once it's done, it's ours." Even his fathers agreed. My father. The final fracture. The ground beneath me didn't crumble. It crystallized, cold, sharp, unfeeling. I began collecting without confrontation. DNA test from a strand of hair in my son's comb. Financial audit through a proxy account. A forensic sweep of messages. I kept my demeanor clean, calm, predictable. Every night I stared at them across the dinner table. The woman who shared my bed, the man who called me brother, and the father who raised me. 3 liars sharing the same breath. My son laughed between them, and something inside me broke in silence. The results arrived 2 weeks later. He wasn't my son. The report sat heavy in my lap. The words blurred. But clarity doesn't need focus. It just needs confirmation. The family reunion was the perfect stage. Everyone dressed in their Sunday best, masks polished with affection. I waited until after dinner, until laughter softened them, until their guard dissolved in wine. Then, the empty account, the smirk, the confession. "We needed it more than you." They had no idea what I already knew. I placed my bag on the table, unzipped it. One envelope slid out, thick, unassuming. I pushed it toward my wife. "Open it." She hesitated, sensing weight beneath the paper. When she saw the first photo, her face drained. Then the second, the third. Receipts, transfers, the DNA report, all laid bare in her trembling hands. My father's voice cracked first. "You? How did you?" "I was never blind," I said quietly. He reached for me. I stepped back. "I built this family from nothing," he said, almost pleading. I looked at him, the man who taught me to survive by swallowing emotion whole. "You built a lie," I whispered, "and called it love. The loud bang that shook the house wasn't violence, it was inevitability. The sound of the door as the authorities entered. 2 officers, 2 sealed warrants. My father's accounts frozen. My brother-in-law charged for fraud. My wife implicated by her own signature. I had given them every document, every message, every trail of deceit, weeks ago. All that remained tonight was the reveal. As they shouted, pleaded, accused, I watched, detached. My father's empire collapsed under his own weight. My brother-in-law's laughter curdled into a choke. My wife sank into her chair, eyes wide with something worse than guilt, exposure. I waited until the officers led them away, then turned to her. "You wanted my name," I said. "Now it's all you'll be remembered by." She whispered something, apology, prayer, I couldn't tell. I didn't answer. I simply picked up my bag and walked out. Outside, the air was cold, the street empty, the silence absolute. Freedom doesn't feel like triumph, it feels like absence. I thought of the boy, their boy. He would grow up carrying their blood, their shame, but not my shadow. I had erased myself from their story, the same way they tried to erase me. And in that symmetry, I found peace. Revenge isn't destruction, it's revelation. Let them live with the truth. They were architects of their own ruin. I was merely the mirror. As I walked away, I felt nothing. Not hate, not relief, just clarity. They took everything from me, so I took meaning from them. Now there is only silence, and I am comfortable in silence. Because some ghosts don't haunt, they simply disappear, leaving the living to choke on what remains.